Imagine your child sitting in class. A man walks in and starts shooting. With the policies in effect today in most areas, the teacher can only hide behind the desk and watch your child die. According to this study by the Bureau of Justice Statistics, there were 31 school-associated violent deaths from July 1st, 2010 through June 30th, 2011. That means 31 children never made it home from school. Gun-free zones in American schools create a target-rich environment for deranged individuals who wish to harm your children. According to a Crime Prevention Research Center report, The Myths About Mass Public Shootings analysis, since 2009, only 8% of mass public shootings have occurred in areas where civilians are legally allowed to defend themselves. Your children would be much safer if we enacted legislation allowing students, or teachers, and faculty to conceal carry in schools in all 50 states. Do you want your child's teachers to be able to protect their lives? I've been a legal concealed carrier for over 8 years, and I can tell you that my family is much better protected than they were before I received my license. I've never had an accident, never been arrested, have not committed a crime, and those around me have no idea that I'm armed. Concealed carry by school faculty and students will deter mass shootings and reduce casualties in the event that a mass shooting does occur. We need to enact legislation in all 50 states that will allow teachers to protect our children. Most school systems in the U.S. are gun-free zones. The gun-free zones in the U.S. provide a situation where an individual can walk in and begin killing kids at will, knowing that there is no one able to stop them. According to a recent study by the FBI, a study of active shooter incidents in the United States between 2000 and 2013, there were 39 such incidents in school between those dates. The same study notes that 60% of those incidents ended before the police were able to respond. In 5 of those incidents, the shooting was ended by an armed individual other than law enforcement. Most schools have a strict gun-free policy. This works very well for preventing law-abiding individuals from bringing a firearm on school grounds. It does nothing to prevent a criminal from bringing a firearm on school grounds, because criminals don't follow laws anyway. Also, they know that the students and faculty inside are defenseless. Most schools have minimum security, no metal detectors, and 1 or 2 armed officers inside, if any, to protect your children. It is cost prohibitive for small schools to have good security. One viable solution to this problem is to allow school teachers and faculty in all 50 states the option to carry a concealed firearm in the classroom, provided that they pass all background checks and complete all required training. This is a viable solution because first and foremost, it's a deterrent. People would no longer know whether or not they would be met by gunfire if they walked into the classroom and tried to harm your children. If it did not work as a deterrent, those teachers and faculty members who chose to conceal carry could disable the threat, thus minimizing casualties. Finally, there's no additional cost to the school. Teachers who choose to carry concealed will pay for their own training and background checks. You may ask if it's safe for a teacher to carry in a classroom, and if a child could get the firearm from a teacher and accidentally or intentionally shoot a classmate, or if a teacher should be trusted around your children with a firearm. The teachers would have to undergo concealed carry background checks and training, in addition to the background checks that they passed prior to being hired by the school. If concealed carry laws are followed, the students would have no idea if a teacher is or is not carrying a firearm. Concealed carry license holders are some of the most law-abiding people in the U.S. For example, a Texas Department of Public Safety report conviction rates for concealed handgun license holders, reporting period 1 January 2013 to 31 December 2013, shows that concealed carry permit holders accounted for only 0.3% of convictions during that period. The future without my solution is simple. We'll continue to see attacks like Sandy Hook and Columbine. Because there are no laws that you can pass that will stop a criminal. Increased restriction will only restrict the law-abiding population. With my solution in place, these attacks and the resulting casualties will be drastically reduced. If teachers and faculty are allowed, by choice, to conceal carry in a classroom, you would see an instant decrease in these types of mass shootings and reduce casualties in the event one of these shootings did occur, because teachers will be able to stop the threat instead of watching helplessly. Gun-free zones in American schools create a target-rich environment for deranged individuals who wish to harm your children. We need to enact legislation to allow teachers to conceal carry in the classroom in all 50 states. According to a Huffington Post article, Guns in Schools, firearms are already allowed in 18 states with few restrictions, November 5th, 2015. Firearms are allowed on school grounds in 18 states. We need to protect the children in all 50 states, not just 18. Vote for individuals who support legislation that allows concealed carry in schools in all 50 states. And contact your congressmen and senators and tell them that they need to enact legislation to protect your children now. With my solution in place, the scenario at the beginning of this speech would most likely have an outcome like this. The shooter would see a sign saying students protected by armed faculty, and he would move on to an unprotected location. The other less likely scenario would work out something like this. Your child is sitting in class, and an intruder bursts through the door and starts shooting. Your child's teacher returns fire and eliminates the threat. The school is locked down, and you receive a call saying that there's been a shooting at the school and your child is unharmed. If you care about your child's safety, fight for nationwide concealed carry in the classroom legislation.